Tired of spending money on fad diets, weight loss drugs, and ineffective weight loss products? If you're looking for a way to lose weight and improve your metabolic health, Golo could be a great solution for you. The team at Golo created a patented all-natural dietary supplement called Release, which is clinically proven to work. Release is made of 7 plant-based ingredients and 3 key minerals that help to reverse insulin resistance and improve metabolic health. Release by Golo naturally stimulates your body's GLP-1 hormone production without synthetic and expensive meds that aren't always covered by insurance. This helps to curb appetite and balance blood sugar levels. More than 5,000 doctors have recommended Golo to their patients. It's a comprehensive weight loss solution that's safe, easy, and clinically proven to work. With taking just 1 to 3 Release capsules daily, you'll quickly get control of your metabolic health within 30 days. For a happier, healthier you, visit Golo.com to get started on a more energetic version of yourself and enjoy 10% off with the code KateCasey10. That's Golo.com, code KateCasey10 for 10% off. One more time, go to GOLO.com and use code KateCasey10 to join more than 5 million people who have switched to Golo as a better way to lose weight.
Don't miss Good American Family.
We have a little girl here for adoption.
She has dwarfism.
Starring Ellen Pompeo and Mark Duplass.
Something is off.
She's just a little girl. You think she's faking?
She has adult teeth. There are signs of puberty.
Inspired by the shocking stories that tore a family apart.
I don't know what's going on.
How old are you?
You should get a lawyer.
You have no idea how those people hurt this girl.
The Hulu original series, Good American Family, premieres March 19th, streaming on Hulu.
Welcome back for another episode of Reality Life with Kate Casey, and I have a great episode for you. Back with me is reality TV producer Chris DeRosa, because we have to talk about the conclusion of Love is Blind Minneapolis. This weekend, we had the weddings and the reunion, and we have a lot to unpack. Now, if you have not watched the series, don't even worry about it, because not only am I going to give you the cheat sheet, there are so many relatable topics that will make you laugh. And of course, Chris is so fired up in this episode, it's going to make you laugh nonetheless. So here's what you need to know. The couples were given the option of getting married, and only one couple actually went through with it. You have Taylor and Daniel. They got married. They remain married. They bought a house 20 minutes outside of Minneapolis. Their families are close. But surprisingly, Daniel got a tattoo of Taylor's eyes on his chest. We have thoughts about that, more to come. Virginia, who I sometimes call Victoria by accident, she and Devin never made it because they figured out about a day or two before the weddings that they have polar opposite beliefs about religion and politics. I know, you think you would have covered that beforehand. Also, Virginia accused Devin of hiding a $1,000 check, which is sketchy. And also she found a letter from an ex-girlfriend in his hotel room. He claimed that ex-girlfriend is actually one of his best friends and in a relationship with someone in the wedding party. I don't buy that. Sarah, who has a lesbian twin sister, made it very clear that she wanted somebody who understood and appreciated and valued LGBTQ plus community and members of her family, obviously, who are in a same-sex marriage. Now, Ben, who she met in the pods and went all the way through to the wedding, had said that he was totally on board with that. Although he was a member of a church and he didn't remember his church views on the community. So he eventually admitted that he likely didn't pay attention to any mention of the LGBTQ plus community at his parish because it didn't directly affect him, which, remember, I said I think he brought in fake friends. Bingo. Okay. Also, she didn't trust him because there was a girl on TikTok who said he was a complete cad. They tried to date and live together for a week or so after the non-wedding, but she moved to Nashville and he removed her from his Find My Friends. So very sketchy. And also Jimmy from North Carolina mentored him and said, basically, keep the peace for the reunion. That's important to note because Dave and Lauren talked the reunion too. They never ended up even getting to the wedding date. But I feel like he had his tail between his legs and he kept saying, I'm so sorry. I feel terrible about how it all went down. I can totally see that I made a big deal about her hooking up with a guy in the weeks before we went on the show. He was obviously there for the wrong reasons. I totally regret it. But she was like, I don't fully believe you because you had my phone number for the last year and you made no effort to show that in any capacity. So I think Jimmy got into his ear too. And he's like, I better show up and actually make it seem like I'm sorry. she did also tell him that she had more emotional maturity than him, which is absolutely correct. And she was kind and said she didn't totally believe everybody else that he was a narcissist or a manipulator. So she's very sweet for that. Now, there is no real word on his sister or why they may have been in a flowers in the attic relationship. And he claimed that she had watched the show and struggled with seeing how hurt Lauren was and how hard it was for her to go through that. So hopefully they all meet up at a bar and they can talk it all out. Lastly, Monica and Joey, they didn't get married. I felt like it was a friend vibe. He said basically he never intended to get married and he didn't feel sexual chemistry. And that probably is why Monica's sister was horrible to him, because she could see that he was lying through his teeth. Also, he tried to DM Madison and she was like, "You're ridiculous." Also important to note, Alex came back. He was in a full flop sweat. It was pretty weird. And then Zach, I keep calling him Zach, Mason, I feel like his name should be Zach. Mason and Meg came back. They tried to date. It didn't work out. And they had a lot of very strong feelings that they also brought to the table. So that's where we are. And Chris joins me. And he always is absolutely hilarious. So here is my interview with Chris. Chris, I went ahead and I watched the next 2 episodes of The Baldwins, so you didn't have to. And do you want me to give you a quick update on what's going on in the Hamptons?
Yes, but before you do that, everyone, guys, raise your hand if you're sick of hearing my voice on this podcast. Because my hand's raised, okay? I've never in my career of podcasting been like, I'm sick of listening to myself. But after last week with all the shenanigan that we got up to, even though everyone said that they loved the episode,
okay, good.
I was like, I hate myself.
No. Okay, this is what you need to know about what's going on in the Hamptons. I do think that they are cushioning something that Carmen, the oldest, can be a YouTube influencer or an actress. Like that's definitely one of their goals through this process is to make her a star.
Sure.
Which is terrible because she should just be like a kid at school and have a lot of fun.
No, but however, the reason we have Bella Hadid is because of the Real Houses of Beverly Hills. So let's not.
True.
Like haven't seen this before, sadly.
I know, but they've been through enough. Like they don't.
Well, they got to work. Well, listen, they were nervous that he was going away, and they were like, "How are we going to?" She's like, "How am I going to make money?"
Well, they do sort of acknowledge that in episode 3 after the trial. Like, he's like, "This costs a lot of money." So the third episode is more heavy on him, and he is just. You can feel the weight of it all. The kids still are barely in it. And I just think, why TLC? Because TLC typically would be like, edu, and then it would show like a reel of him being funny in the pool or something. I really don't see any of the other kids or get a sense of their personality. So that's kind of weird. Now, I heard the ratings are just plummeting too. I'm like, well, yeah, because I think the first episode. They just want to see the accent.
There was nothing there. There was just nothing there.
And the accent by episode 3 is totally gone.
Yeah, of course it is.
Totally gone. So anyway, that's it.
Does she still have the helium breath voice?
Kind of. There are a lot of like tank tops and jeans scenes on the couch with no shoes on.
Sure. Ugh. And like you see her feet. I'm like, what is this? What is this? A Quentin Tarantino movie? What's happening?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Speaking of feet, remember we had to see Meg's feet all the time on Love Is Blind?
I know. Well, yes. That, again, I was like, who are you trying to nab here? Quentin Tarantino?
Too much. Okay, so this episode is about the weddings and the reunions. So this is the last of our season 8
I have
episodes.
I'm ready to just go right into reunion, but I'm forgetting that we didn't even talk about the weddings. Okay.
All right, let's move through the weddings quickly. Okay, Daniel and Taylor, they're the only ones that got married.
Sure, which we knew was going to the Lifetime or the Hallmark movie couple, the Christmas couple. We knew this after she realized he wasn't stalking her.
Right.
Which is like a Hallmark. I feel like that is a Hallmark movie. It's like, are you my stalker? No, you're not. Oh my God, I'm in love with you. Like I'm into that. So like, of course they were going to be together. Of course, they're the most boring couple of the people.
Oh, not I love them.
Oh, they're sure, but like, it was like, oh. How's marriage? They're like, great. I'm like, cool. That was it. Like, you knew they were going to say yes, so it was fine. I felt good about them. But anyway, moving on.
Okay, then we have Devin and Victoria. And like we had said, they lacked very important conversations in the week, if not the days, leading up to the wedding. What did you think about the wedding scene when they didn't get married?
Listen, good for these people that like they go all the way to the altar and then say no, because that's like what the point of the show is. But like I found in this season that like I don't know if it's that they weren't talking about these things or if I want to see the scene where he like isn't wanting to talk about these like values that they don't share. And him being like, I don't want to talk about this. Like, that's fine to me, but I want to see that. So there's like, I'm like, like there's drama afoot. But then I get that they don't want to show that to me because they want me to, they want me to not know what's going to happen and going into the wedding and be like, well, obviously she's going to say no.
Mm-hmm.
Like same thing with Joey and Monica. Like when she's like, I'm not ready. I was like, you seemed very ready. So is that like, because you didn't film the scenes that we needed you to film? Or is that because, or like they didn't, or is it because they didn't air those scenes to leave mystery for us to be shocked, which I was at the altar when she's like, no.
Well, later in the reunion, Joey's like, yeah, we were really definitely in the friend zone. And I thought, well, yeah, I mean, I thought you were like pals. But at some moments, they would definitely lead you into thinking they actually might get married. I didn't understand it because I didn't see the chemistry. But once they admitted on the reunion, yeah, like we were not having hot sex all the time, totally vibing. I'm like, oh yeah, I thought that.
But I want them to say that. I want to be like, is this just friendship? Like in the scenes?
Yes. Agreed.
Yeah.
Thoughts on Joey walking, or not walking down the aisle, but skateboarding down the aisle?
I mean, if it was like his real wedding and not one that was like organized by Netflix, I would be like, oh, brother, but like, sure.
Do you think that he wanted the producers to not allow her sister to be at the wedding?
No, but I'm not going to lie. I have a lot of apologizing to that sister later when we talk about the reunion because I have a lot of apologies in my notes for the sister that I called a bitch because she was right.
Well, she was right. Yeah. But you can be right and not just be like abhorrent on film.
Sure, but she was right. Anyway, yeah. Like, I was like, oh, I should have listened to her. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Sarah and Ben, what a doozy of a wedding.
When she was like, it's not there, I'm not there yet, blah, blah, which like we did, that was her storyline. So we did like that one. I felt like we knew that was like the problem.
Yeah.
I still feel like we didn't see as much as we should have. But when she's like, no, like it's not yet. And he's like, yes, and we will continue dating. And she's like, we will talk about that. And then ran out of like as if it was like a movie, like ran out and was like, get me in this car now. And like, drive. Like I was hysterically laughing because she was like, I gotta get out of here. And she ran. The mom and the sister, like they all just jumped in the car and like did a scene in the car as they're like in the getaway van. I loved it.
Getaway, that definitely was a getaway.
It was a getaway van.
Yep. But I was confused at the end where she's like, I do really love you. I'm like, but why?
But I get that she's like, it's not that I don't love you or that I don't like she seemingly, I'm doing fast forward, but like seemingly they were going to try to be together. So like
but
she
even
was
to
saying,
date him and saying, I love you. Why are you sticking around for this guy at this point at all?
Well, no, she knows now. Well, she knows now.
Well, that's what I was thinking when I watched the wedding. I'm like, what is this about? Where is this wedding happening? In the middle of a field?
Well, I like that also too. It's like they then got in some car to then go to like a second location to then like be like sad. You know what I mean? Like that was, I loved it. It was like they kept getting in these cars and it wasn't like driving away. It like dropped them off at like a different venue or maybe like another building on the same property. It's like, and they brought them back to like where they were getting ready so that they could just be sad there.
Yeah. A lot of getaway cars, a lot of different locations.
One of them, it was snowing. That was beautiful. I was like, this is so poetic. It was beautiful. I know you hate snow, but I love it. And I thought,
it was pretty, but I don't want to sit in it or I don't want to be there.
Sure.
I can like,
no, but it was, I was like, this is cinematic, Also, I'm so sorry. Did this need to be an hour and 45 minute? This could have been a tight 55-minute episode. I fast forwarded completely through like They got me twice with watching the families. And then I was like, what am I doing? Like, I don't need to sit here for an hour and 45 minutes. I just need, and then I fast forwarded through like the last three. I fast forwarded through their whole family thing because I just wasn't into it and just got right to when they're at the altars.
Well, they have definitely decreased the amount of nonsense that they've done in previous years where the wedding dress is hanging up and she's like running her hand over it.
Yeah.
And then there was a lot of wasted opportunity. Much like you have pointed out, those dress shopping scenes are just hellacious to go through.
It was good. No, but they did bet. It was much better this season.
Much better, much tighter. Yeah.
Like we saw it. Someone tried on a dress. We saw that they're doing it. They're excited, but it wasn't like Vanessa Lachey didn't like go around to every mom and be like, what? Tell me you're like, she wasn't doing like an Anderson Cooper with like the moms. Do you know what I mean? She was like, she wasn't like, so like, I don't know, like Cindy, whoever's mom. Do you feel that your daughter is ready for marriage? Remember it used to be a sit down with Vanessa to like, garner favor between the moms or not. And that it really was just like we are shopping for wedding dresses in a montage.
Yes, just lock and loaded.
I'm vacillating between, and now I'm really putting my producer hat on, so everyone just go with me. I'm vacillating between the show should be, as I said last episode, like the show should be about the drama of the pods and not so much the weddings. But then also, there are so many, you're incentivizing these people to be messy and dramatic on purpose for that reason, which is not in theory what I actually want. I want them to be pure and really coming here to do this. But then we pick up on the stories of the drama. But like, I can't have both of those things. Like if I had to produce that, it would be extremely hard to do because on one hand, I'd be asking them to trust the process. And then on the other hand would be saying, but I'm actually here to like, when you slip up, like pounce on that and like run you into the ground.
Also, if they did what I would like, which is a show after the pods, as we've talked about. Like,
love is seen.
Love is seen because Madison points out.
Please speak about it as it is intended to be spoken about with its government name. Thank you.
But Madison makes it clear in the reunion that they all see each other at the same like 3 or 4 bars. So the story continues, and I'm like, I want to know what that's about. However, to your point, it's a slippery slope because then it sets a bad precedent, and because
then none of them need to get engaged. They can just they know that there's more than just that one scene.
And we'll make it one TV opportunity into 5 seasons of Love is Seen in Minneapolis.
Yes. Which I think, again, it ruins it's hard. They're in a hard place. Normally I would be so like, oh, blah, blah. They're in a hard place because you want them to come authentically. And like right now, what they are promised to happen to them, it is incentivizing authenticity. Whereas what we actually want to happen is like turn it into an ensemble cast show that makes it be, excuse me, like so many other things other than just like, will I get married through this process?
Let's walk through the outfits. No Zoolander outfits, really, except Molly.
No, we had some bad ones. Molly's was
Ice Capades.
It was Ice Capades. It was bad. Nothing she's ever worn on the show did I like. As we can roll back the tape on me talking about how her style is really bad. She's also very young. Isn't she only 24, 25 years old?
Oh, maybe. Yeah. Okay.
Am I wrong about that? It just screams I'm 24 on her outfits. So I like kind of have more leeway with her.
Yeah.
And that color is great on her. It just was like a Dolly Parton reject. And I mean that not in a, like, and like Dolly is like a fashion icon, but it's very like not that.
I feel like it's like the discount rack at maybe like a Marshall's.
Yes.
Kind of feel. Yep.
It just was like cheap. It looked cheap. It didn't look like, again, that color in a different cut that's like something more elevated. She would look incredible. I think she's so pretty. I love her hair. Like the dress is just bad.
Right. Virginia hit it out of the ballpark. She looked beautiful.
My first actual note, other than my overall note, which I'll give when we actually turn into like the content of the reunion, I said Virginia did stellar and looks incredible.
Yeah. The dress is beautiful.
She was giving like, that hair was giving everything to me. Regal, like put together, gorgeous. She was not like the Hofa show that we saw in the pods where she was like in like hoe wear. I never forget her dress when she like met her fiance was like something you'd wear to the club and be like, this is even too slutty for the club. You know what I mean? It was like wild. Her pink dress was gorgeous.
Beautiful.
Body be banging. Obviously, she's so pretty. It's not even funny.
Yeah.
That hair was incredible.
Makeup.
She's like hands down the prettiest one of all of the girls. And like none of the girls sitting there would say otherwise. But she even for herself like raised the bar and it was incredible.
But when you see her next to him on that stage, I'm like, how did you even get through one date
conversation
with this weirdo?
Yes.
He looks so pathetic up there.
Men have such a lower bar that they have to get to than women do in every way. My overall note for the entire reunion is I feel bad for straight women. And I'm going to say that 65 more times because I feel bad for straight women. They have to be the most beautiful thing in the whole world.
Correct.
And still then like make excuses for this man who is a loser and like such a loser and like a little child baby bitch boy that then and like he still is like shocked that she didn't say yes to him, by the way. Like, did we not feel that? I did.
Oh.
He was like, I can't believe you couldn't get past these things where it was that were like invalidating people for who they are is what her problem was. We'll get into it, but yeah.
Yeah. Here's the big mystery for me. Well, number one, she's a total class act, but she says,
incredible.
I will essentially not call out what his belief system is, but I will say it's in conflict with mine. Here are my values. Which I was like, wow, class act, well done. Very
incredible.
Well done. People should take notes.
I said that speech was amazing. And as I've said it before, if you're religious, you should respect all religions. I've said that before on this stage right here.
Truly.
He was stuck on stupid with that answer at the end afterwards, by the way. And the way that she said it, she was like, we should have, she said what I say is like, we should have respect for all the different ways that people can connect to God. I was like, boom.
Yeah.
Like slam dunk on his face.
And then saying that he needs a lot of self-growth, I was like, you're killing the game. So well done and said. But when they would cue to the audience where her beautiful mother was sitting, I thought, I want to take the mom out for drinks. She's going to give us good stories. Because she's probably like, oh, Chris, Kate, you're not going to even believe what he said, like the fourth date. But then it goes back to our original argument, which was, how did you even get through? She says we had an emotional connection. Based on what?
Based on what?
Based on what?
Here's where I start to yell at you, just FYI.
Okay.
Just everyone. Here's where I start to yell at you, even though one, it's not your fault, and two, you agree with me, but I still will take it out on you, my rage. So here we go.
Okay.
And sorry in advance, and I will apologize after. But if this, and this goes for many of the men on this, as we will get to many others, if your views are your views and you believe them, why on earth do you have to hide them from the public like consciousness of the world?
Yeah.
If they're not bad and hurtful to other people, why can't you sit there and say those things?
Mm-hmm.
He, to me, is like a lost person. And I think he's someone that just like, I think he's young. He's also young, right? Isn't he like 25?
I feel like he's young and he's just a basketball coach, not, I just think for like a rec team or something. It's not.
I know. That's the other thing is like some of these people like have job. Like some of these people are like catches in the world of like job things. And like hard workers and blah, blah. And then there's just people that aren't. And I'm like, should you have been one of the people here?
Yeah, should you have been selected?
I love the look of luxury, but knowing that I got it at a great price. And I feel like you're like me too. And that's why I know you're going to love Quince. Quince is my go-to for luxury essentials at affordable prices. I get DMs all the time. Where did you get that sweater? I'm telling you, I got it at Quince. You know why? They offer high quality items at prices within reach. And the best part, all Quince items are priced 50 to 80% less than similar brands. So they do this by partnering directly with top factories. So Quince cuts the cost of the middleman and then passes the savings on to us. And the best part, it only works with factories that use safe, ethical, and responsible manufacturing practices. And who doesn't love that? In fact, the thing you need to get right now are the toasted almond silk pajamas. It's a beautiful gift for someone in your life or just for yourself. So give yourself the luxury you deserve with Quince. Go to quince.com/KKC for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. That's QUINCE.com/KKC to get your free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/KateCasey. Did you know that Fast Growing Trees is the biggest online nursery in the US with thousands of different plants and over 2 million happy customers? They have all the plants your yard needs, like fruit trees, privacy trees, flowering trees, shrubs, and so much more. Whatever plants you're interested in, Fast Growing Trees has you covered. You can find the perfect fit for your climate and space. Fast Growing Trees makes it easy to get your dream yard. You order online and get your plants delivered directly to your door in just a few days, without ever leaving home. Their Alive and Thrive guarantee ensures your plants arrive happy and healthy. And plus, you get support from trained plant experts on call to help you plan your own landscape, choose the right plants, and learn how to care for them. For example, I knew that I was in the growing zone 10 and I picked out the most perfect lemon tree. It's so cute. It makes me so happy every time I walk outside. This spring, they have the best deals for your yard, up to half off on select plants and other deals. And listeners to this show get 15% off their first purchase when using the code Kate Casey at checkout. That's an additional 15% off at fastgrowingtrees.com using the code Kate Casey at checkout. Fastgrowingtrees.com, code Kate Casey. Now's the perfect time to plant. Use Kate Casey to save today. Offer is valid for a limited time. Terms and conditions may apply.
I don't understand why Devin was selected for this show.
No, me either.
Just zero charisma, stuck in his ways.
Not a good talker.
Not a good talker, just not an ideal person to watch in this social experiment, which I think requires somebody who's multifaceted and interesting and et cetera, et cetera. Yep.
Speaking of Nick and Jessica, I think they did a great job. And she looks the best that she's ever looked on any of the reunions was this one, I thought.
Well, the only thing though, she cries sometimes where I'm like, what's going on at home?
whenever AD and that guy got engaged or whatever. And she was
like, girl, I've been there with you on your journey.
I feel like she really likes them.
I know, but I feel
I'm fine with it. I'm a full 180 on her, by the way. I thought she did good.
But there is a tinge where I'm like, is something else not happening? But like we've said, they're much better on the other show because they're a little bit more honest about like how they fight and stuff.
But where I was like, wanted her like to get hit by a car. Like I was calling for her to be fired like a couple seasons ago. And now I'm like, I felt that they did a good job. She especially did a great job mediating the fights and not being annoying. Like remember that like a couple seasons ago when she like inserted herself and was like the loudest person in the whole room for the whole thing. LOL that I'm saying that. But she was like,
I don't know if I totally agree with you.
I thought she did a good job.
I think she could have taken Ben and Dave a little bit more to task.
Oh, 100%. Well, they all could have done that for everyone in the whole, everything we talk about. But for what we had in the past to where we are now, she has improved so much. And I felt that she was leading me through something. And I felt that she was grounding the proceedings in a way that was like, she was calling people out, but in a way that wasn't annoying and insufferable, which I can't say about her like 4 seasons ago.
Okay, fair. Okay.
And her feud with the lighting department has ended because she looked great. She looked good. Her hair looked really good. She just like did like, I'm just going to do celebrity on a reunion. Like she wasn't doing like slick back hair. She was just like in a dress that was kind of ugly, but kind of not like.
Well, I think that's my problem is that for the host, they chose a really bad color palette.
But they should be like muted. They were like, we're giving, here's our look.
So bad. They were like, they look like pieces of old couches from the 70s.
Sure, but why did I like them the most in this one when they were muted? Because they shouldn't be there to be the spectacle. They should be there to mediate.
Roger. Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't need her to be doing this weird.
Yeah.
She should be there to be like, what was his name? Like, whenever she said that, I was on the floor. I was like, good job. I was like, she's like not being annoying about this. And that was just simply funny. Like, her delivery was, color me corrected. She's like, I'm all about her. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Daniel and Taylor's jumpsuit. It was very boobalicious. She looked great.
She did. I guess when they were sitting down, it didn't even look like a jumpsuit. But yeah, it was good. It was good.
And they just seem so cute.
She is so pretty, but when you look from the side and then from face on, she's two different people to me. And both of those people are pretty. They're just different people. Am I wrong?
I don't know.
When I see her from the side, I'm like, who is that? And then when I see her from the front, she just like has such a different shape to her face. I don't know what it is.
Okay. Well,
but I think she's so pretty. I like her hair up. Her little updo is really pretty. They seem to be so in love, which is very happy. And at least the show succeeded for someone.
Yeah. But they should be like used in all their marketing materials because it seems like it really worked.
Yeah.
Those two. Yeah.
Yeah, it did. His tattoo of her.
Oh, that I was like,
Wow.
wowzers.
Yeah, that was very tough to see. But they're drunk in love is what they are. Because
drunk in love, yeah.
Would you ever in your life get that tattooed on your body like that?
Let me be honest with you.
Correct.
If the situation was reversed and Dan said, I got your eyes on my chest, I'd go.
You would be like, we're getting a divorce right now.
I'd go, we need to go see a doctor about removal. Who wants to make sweet love to their husband and look at
their own eyes?
Eyeballs?
To their own eyes.
To their own eyeballs.
I don't want to see that, to quote Valerie Cherish herself. But
God bless. I mean, they're a beautiful couple. We're so happy for them and we want them to have lots of kids. And the husband looks just like my husband, but I do not want to see my own eyeballs when, yes.
No. There'll be a success story. Like there'll be one at like the Browns and the Bliss and what's his name. Like they're going to be one of those the couples that comes back like 80 million times to be like, we're doing great, you know?
Yeah.
So.
I felt kind of gross that I was disappointed she wasn't pregnant.
Well, yeah. Well, of course you were, because that's you. You're like this person needs to procreate like tomorrow.
Yeah. I'm like, because I'm like, they're just so sweet and their babies they'll have. Okay, so we've got them. Fine. Sarah and Ben. What did you think about their look?
Okay, I'm like, who are
I
these
thought
people?
Ben looked like
Sarah's. I didn't love the leather and the lace situation.
The
dress is just bad, and that's just is what it is.
Dress was bad. Face
is gorgeous.
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 They're all really beautiful women.
Gorgeous.
Beautiful.
They all looked great. Like none of them didn't look great. She's so pretty. I love her. I like her vibe is so good. I'm saying the same thing that I said in every single episode, but I'm into her. She's someone I would actually be friends with in real life. I feel. I love her standing up for people. You know what I mean? I just feel I'm so into her. And should I get into my notes?
He looked greasy, like his hair, and he had way too much jewelry on. Way too much
jewelry.
But he was, by the way, he was purposely doing like yoga jewelry to look like, no, I'm a man. Yes, introspective. And I know my star sign and I do a lot of like head poses and.
Sure.
Okay, but dude, you're gross.
I mean, she wrecked him. He got railroaded.
And calling out Jimmy for giving him advice on how to handle the reunion.
And then whenever Nick at the end was like, Ben, like he caught a slam like way after their whole version, like part of the reunion. He's like, Ben, remember that's the guy that you like decided to take advice from.
Right.
Like, slam.
Yep. Yeah. But it did make you realize too, though, that there is a lot of maneuvering outside. They do talk to all the different cast members and the advice, and that has compromised the process too.
Yes, agree. And they have to come. Here's the thing that's so annoying to me. Here we go, yelling at you again. The men all came with like their prepared shit. Yeah. And it's clear that they came with their like prepared things. And when they're confronted with the truth, they're so taken aback.
Yeah.
And then the women were like, no, that just like wasn't true at all. Like, LOL, here's my side of the story. And that part tracks so clearly. Yeah. And their rebuttal to that doesn't make any sense. And even when they're like, the people jumping in, like when Devin, we didn't even talk about this, but when Devin was like, these two like whores came up to me drunk being like, blah, blah, blah. And they were like, you came up to us and said that she ghosted you. So like, or we're all three of us are wrong about that.
Yeah.
And the women were so like, just on lock in a way that I felt not rehearsed. Just like, I'm going to have this girl's back because I need to. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I'm just like, this is just simply what I experienced. And so that like is validating to their side of the story. So I'm just going to share what happened to me with you. And it was like, boom, like receipts or just backing up the women. The men didn't back each other up one time.
No, they don't know.
Because they knew it was a fucking lie. Like nothing to say.
Also, like, don't talk to me outside of this show because I know too much and all the women talk and like just I want to keep my cover as long as I can.
And
You know what
when
is a good
Madison
question,
and when
though?
Madison and Molly were like, you said that to both of us. And he was like, yeah, you guys were drunk. And they were like, and you said it to us. So whatever.
Right.
Like, what? And they're like, what? And what reason do we have to say this right now to like, other than the fact that it's true?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Anyway,
it did remind me of Housewives.
wait, you were gonna say something.
Well, I was going to say that it does remind me of Housewives with alliances and how they seat them on the couches. Because the question I have for you is, because this is what I'm thinking. There is a group chat for all the cast, and people put memes or they're in there like every now and then. Then you have the micro.
Yeah, like just the
Group
guys,
chats.
just the friends, like the
Yes.
guy friends. Yeah.
But then even more than that, I gather that Taylor, Sarah, and Lauren, and maybe sometimes Molly have their own chat. Madison,
Yeah.
maybe Molly have a chat. Now, I don't know how much like the others really are involved in. Like, there's like a core group, and I don't know if the other ones are involved. Do you think that they like Madison? Do you think the other women like Madison?
I think they're fine with her. I don't think that I think they're fine with her. I didn't see any, even when, Monica was like, I went up to Madison and was like, hey, like, this is what I'm hearing. And Madison's like, oh my God, are you fucking kidding me? That's ridiculous. Let's go do it right. Let's go figure that out right now.
Yeah.
And they were like, that whole thing. I mean, we'll get there, but wait, so I have more to talk about Sarah and Ben. Okay. So Sarah and Ben. Ben says he never needed to know his church's stance on gay marriage because he never needed to know, but we met one of his friends who's a lesbian.
I was screaming when he said that.
Why did Vanessa, this is the one thing.
Which
and again,
goes back to what do we think? What do we think? Fake friends, fake friends, fake friends.
You're nothing but that statement, nothing but prove your theory that they were his fake friends.
Thank you.
And how many times have I laughed in your face when you've said that and been like, there's no way. And I have no reason other than to believe that you are right now.
Yeah.
Think about that.
Because when he said that, I went, oh my God.
And again, a queer story being told horribly on this show, again, by the way. Why would the first thing that they need to say was like, we met your friend who is a lesbian. Why would you, like, so what you're saying right now doesn't make any sense.
That's why people get frustrated, because they feel like it's moments like that where maybe that was cut out, but Vanessa or Nick should have jumped on that.
Yeah, I agree.
That moment should not have passed.
Yeah. And when I say Vanessa and Nick, I also mean the producers that are feeding them the lines in their ear to tell the people. Do you know what I mean? Like, let's not act like Vanessa and Nick are steering the ship here. Like, if there's an entire control room of people that are talking to them at all times, being like, okay, ask this follow-up question. So when I say Vanessa and Nick, I mean the producers of the show as well as them.
Totally fair. Because if we had drinks with Nick and Vanessa, they would probably be like, "Oh, we were so pissed." I mean,
or it got cut out or whatever. Maybe it was a long, and again, for time, like they might have been this long conversation that they had, and then it was just too long, and they couldn't cut it down to like 2 minutes of package. And of course, we had to have a musical performance and a weird countdown and like all this dumb shit that they had to put in there for no reason. It was so dumb, so dumb. But like again, I don't want any of this. I want like, let's hear about the gay friend.
Mm-hmm.
And like, that would be something I would want to see on like a TikTok. Like, where's that friend? And she needs to come forward and be like,
she needs to come forward.
You should come forward with her thoughts, right? No.
Yeah.
Yes. Like that. Cause that to me, it's like, no, that's a lie. I watched that not be true in your life. So boom, you're a liar. I wrote, this is what gaslighting is. Ben is a small dicked loser.
That's what you wrote?
When he was like, I like wasn't gonna come to Nashville. And she was like, I was under every impression that you were gonna be coming there. And then the fact that the day that I left, you then like unfollowed me or like blocked me on everything and then sent me this like breakup text.
Yeah, he's a coward.
Not only is he a coward and a loser and a small dicked loser, but completely validates that TikTok girl that said that he like ghosted her or whatever.
Yeah.
And he said, I ghosted her. It's like, he told us himself that he does this.
Yeah.
And when what a fucking little loser he is.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, that's not the impression that I had. And then whenever Lauren, again, the other women jump in to be like, I was on the phone with her when she's driving down there and was like saying like, you can't stay with me because I will have another person here.
Mm-hmm. I don't have enough room. Yeah.
Like, I don't have enough room because like there will be the two of us here. Like that to me is like all I needed to hear.
All of his bracelets.
I needed to hear.
All of his, bead bracelets.
All of his Bibles like stacked up in a, How did they even get this far? But they need to for the show.
Yeah, I guess.
The way that they got there is because the producer's like, please just make it to the altar, please. I'm begging you. Like, we can't have one wedding. Like, I'm begging you to just go all the way. And they're like, okay.
Which, by the way, brings to the question, at these weddings, do you think most of these families are absolutely high-fiving in the background when they say, I can't marry you? They're like, thank God.
I would be. Wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
The mom, like when the moms go chase the daughters when they leave, they're like have shit-eating grins on their face. They're like so happy.
Oh, that's so true. That's so true. So Sarah and Ben, what do you think the future holds for these two? I think he's going to just try to be a lifetime movie actor.
He wants to be a lifetime movie actor and might do so, but we'll get an update from her and she's going to be dating someone cool and she's going to be great. I like her a lot. I might DM her and just be like, you're great.
You're fine. And also she's going to Nashville and there's so many cute boys there.
What I like about her, yes, also, and she's like so pretty. I find her so cool. I think she's funny. I'm like into her so much. I'm so into her. I was day one. I really liked her. I thought she had a head on her shoulder. She was a catch. What was I going to say about her?
Ben, future.
He's going to be a lifetime movie actor. I don't know. I like that she didn't compromise her beliefs or she didn't have to compromise anything about herself. And she could hold people to the standard that she holds herself and they couldn't meet her there. That's what that was very cool to watch.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yep. She's clearly...
And he's like a coward loser.
He's a loser. Yeah.
And then, oh my God, it was crazy. Again, I feel bad for straight women. I feel bad for straight women. I'm sorry. I feel so bad for straight women.
Well, that brings us to Lauren. I thought Lauren looked beautiful too. I think that Lauren and Sarah are very close. What did you think about her discussion with Dave about what happened in their non-marriage?
I felt that he, of all the men, he came the most correct of all the men.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't try to make excuses for himself. He didn't try to only like towards the end was he a little combative, but like he was like, I watched myself on this show and completely understand that I did the wrong thing. Mm-hmm. And I understand, like, I'm now seeing it back and I get why that was so frustrating for her. And that was not what I should have done. And I shouldn't have done that.
Yeah,
and he didn't. Is
that authentic? I felt like he was doing the maneuvering, talking to the former cast members. And he's like, okay, this is the playbook. Just say this.
Even if that is true, he still did the right. He wasn't trying to say that he didn't understand why she felt this way. Like Ben tried to be like, I never said I was going to come to Nashville. And she was like, yes, you did. Our plan was for you to move in with me. And he was like, that's not what I thought. And then everyone else was like, no, that's what we all thought. He was like, oh, I didn't get out of my own way and get my head out of my... And even if a lot of people are like, oh, but she said you had a year to like do this. You know what I mean? You had a year to reach out to me. I didn't feel that was a good rebuttal, even though I love her and like would die for her, because the point is that he watched the show last month and was like, oh my God, I'm in such an idiot.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? He saw it back. And I think even if he might have thought for a whole year, like, yeah, she's going to look like a dirty slut and I'm going to look like a sane person. Mm-hmm. He then watched it and was like, oh, I'm so in the wrong. It's like not even funny.
Mm-hmm. I would have liked some more clarity on why the sister's opinion was so important.
Yeah,
she is embarrassed of her brother.
Yeah, that was still...
I mean, how has Lauren never run into the sister at one of those Minneapolis bars?
Or has the sister not been like, oh my God, my brother's a fucking idiot?
Yeah, which you suspected probably may be the case.
And what's so funny is that whenever he was like, I am so nervous that I'm gonna, or she was nervous that I was gonna come off badly. And it's like, oh yeah. And you contributed to him looking terrible because you wouldn't even meet this girl off camera. Correct. Sister that we'd never seen.
Well, what is
he to me was at least taking accountability for what he did and said, I see where this is bad. And they even tried to egg him on to be like, you need to like profess your love to her. And he was like, no, I don't think that I'm ready to do that. I felt he was like still true to himself and was, and that wasn't fair to her for him to try to like come back on his knees and be like, please take me back. Mm-hmm. Like, cause he has too much. I really turned on him in this and was like, he to me is a real man and like and when I mean that as in like not a little boy, and really is like, oh no, she deserves so much more respect than what I gave her, and I don't deserve to like try to rekindle.
But she doesn't even know if that's totally authentic though.
Sure.
Yeah,
which I understand.
I
but at
appreciate you
least
saying that, but I don't know if I totally believe what you're
which is fair.
throwing down. Yeah.
And he's like, you have every right to believe that. Like he wasn't like, no, here's why, and had made an excuse. He was like, no, you absolutely. I found him to be very like, he did the right thing to me.
Okay.
I thought he was I said, this is how a man comes on and takes accountability. I felt that he took accountability. And then my other note for them is Molly is a girl's girl and I love it.
Yeah, she definitely is.
I love her. I would
she
really
was on
like
a
her at
dance
the
team.
beginning and now I didn't. And now I really, she's a girl's girl.
Yeah. Dance team girl. Let's talk for a second about Monica and Joey, because we kind of referenced this earlier, but he by the way, he did skateboard onto the stage again, where I was like, please throw that away and cut your hair for the love of God. Just get rid of it.
Yeah.
It's so stringy. It's very Jesus-y. I don't understand it. Like if Jesus were around right now to get a flat iron and like a good blow dry, like this is not acceptable what he brought to the table. And the suits are atrocious. Now, he basically admits it is a friend vibe between the two of them. And they were intimate one time that he will cop to. She makes it seem like it was a little bit more, maybe a little handsy. I don't know the details. But there definitely was not a lot of chemistry there. And I do kind of get annoyed, as I said earlier, that there was a moment where they led us to believe that they actually might be in long and lasting love.
Yeah, I thought they like had so much chemistry. Is that bad? Like I was like, oh no, they'll absolutely. Remember in the first episode of our recap, I said, no, they're 100% going to get married. Like 100%.
Yeah.
I was so in on them. My first note is not the mean sister being right, question mark, question mark, question mark. That sister called it 100%.
Yeah.
And I was mean.
So that's why he hated her, because he was like, you're like a buzzkill.
My second note is Monica looks incredible.
She did look pretty, but I felt like her dress was too containing. Like, you know, because it was...
Oh, I thought it was fine.
I like off the shoulders, but it looked like one big containment. Like
it was like
in
one
a
big
fabric prison.
It was a fabric prison. But all that to be said, compared to some of these, like my girl. I mean, the rest of this podcast, once we get past these two, is like me defending Madison for the rest of the whole podcast. But what the fuck was she? What was she wearing? That was a misstep.
Well, because she was like,
epic proportions.
I have this great body and I need to show it. So,
but like, what was anyway? We'll get there. But compared to some of the people wore, I felt hers was like classy. I liked it. It was a fabric prison. You are right, but facial wise as well, the color was incredible on her. Yeah. Her hair and makeup was the best of like maybe the best we've ever seen on one of these reunions ever. I felt she looked like a superstar.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. She looked like an A-list actress. Like she was incredible. Like extensions were good. Her shit was locked up.
Yeah.
He looked incredible, and he looked like a fucking turd.
He did look like a turd. Literal turd. That brown suit,
where's this like zany, fun guy that like we saw the whole season? Again, I said the sister was right.
Yeah.
Where was this fun, cool guy? He was so standoffish. He was really like shoving his temper down because he was doing little cute like housewives reactions.
Yeah.
When they would say something, he'd be like, oh, which is the gross. I'd rather a man be like women are losers, or I hate women. I'd rather him say that like women should like die than be like flippant. When men do that, I find it so disgusting.
Yep.
I'd rather you be like a woman hater than be like, ugh, like women are so frivolous. You know what I mean? Like I find that to be so, it's the most unattractive thing a straight man can do to me.
That said, I fast forwarded through a lot of that because I was bored by them.
And he was so like, he's like, ugh, like what? Like I didn't want to be with you. Don't worry, Madison.
What about him? Yeah, I was going to ask you. What do you think about?
He was like, don't worry, Madison.
Madison would not give him 3 seconds of her time.
Yeah, and she let us know. Well, she was like, she was like, don't even try to like. Try. Yeah, nice try that you thought I would ever like even.
But that was the most authentic version of him, where you find out he's DMing her and like he plays it off. Oh, I like your pink hair. I'm like, I'm not buying what you're throwing. No way. So that's probably who he is in his real life. He had played a character through the duration of this film where he was this fun-loving Labrador, and actually he's like a creepo.
And like a mean girl. Like, do you know what I mean? He was trying to like do me. And I was like,
absolutely.
don't do this. Don't do this. You're going to get just, P.S. Madison was like locked and loaded. So like, don't you even for 1 second act like she's not going to wreck you.
You know that feeling when your kids seem to ask you for a new snack every 3 minutes, but you're sick of giving them junk-filled options? This is why I love Thrive Market, my go-to online grocery store for getting all of my healthy essentials delivered, and I don't even have to leave my couch. And I don't know about you, but I want to be able to pronounce the ingredients on my kids' snack labels. There are over 10,000 food additives allowed in the US, and it's hard to know what's actually safe to eat. Again, another reason why I love Thrive Market. It's the no-junk online grocery store that bans over 1,000 harmful ingredients. So like imagine this. My kids love Doritos. Now I can get them late July, garden ranch, tortilla chips, and it is a dream. And guess what? I'm just tipping the iceberg here. There is so much more. With their online filters, it's going to make it simple to shop by the needs of everyone in your family. And trust me, I get it. We all have things that we love to eat. So get ready to make the switch. Go to thrivemarket.com/Kate Casey for 30% off your first order plus a free $60 gift. That's THRIVE market.com/Kate Casey, thrivemarket.com/Kate Casey. This show is sponsored by Liquid IV. Now, you know I've said that my goal this year is to stay more hydrated. You can gift yourself the everyday indulgence of extraordinary hydration from Liquid IV, powered by Live Hydroscience. They've got true-to-fruit flavors that keep you hydrated. And you can find all your favorite hydration multiplier flavors on their website. I have to say my favorite flavor is the sugar-free raspberry lemonade because it's a bright, zero sugar flavor combining notes of ripe, freshly picked raspberries and citrusy, zesty lemon. And it really gets me going on my day. I think you're going to love it too. I like feeling like I'm hydrated all day long. And if you're somebody who's outdoors or plays sports, this is an absolute must-have. You can break the mold and own your own ritual. Just 1 stick and 16 ounces of water hydrates better than water alone. It's 3 times the electrolytes of the leading sports drink. And also 8 essential vitamins and nutrients, always non-GMO, vegan, gluten-free, dairy-free, and soy-free. Treat yourself to extraordinary hydration from Liquid IV. Get 20% off your first order of Liquid IV when you go to liquidiv.com and use code Kate Casey at checkout. That's 20% off your first order with code Kate Casey at liquidiv.com.
Speaking of wrecking,
Yeah.
Harry Jowsey 2.0 that you said,
Bye. Goodbye.
he was irrelevant. Do you think that he
Loser.
was terrified because
He
all
is
the
irrelevant.
allegations about what he's doing off? Like, ooh,
That
what
was
do I do?
my other note for Nick and Vanessa / the person like giving them the notes in their ear is, why didn't we bring up the thing that were like Mason and Alex were like buddy in the pod, but then like Alex knew that Mason was like with what's her name?
Yeah.
Which they made a scene of it. That was a cliffhanger of the end of an episode on one of the episodes in the pods. It's not like I'm seeing this and it's not a big deal. They used it as a dramatic like ending to an episode. So like that was there for them to talk about, and they didn't even they might have done it and it was just boring because they were, the 3 of them, those 3 stooges, as I like to call them, were so aligned on that little couch by themselves that that's a missed opportunity for them. And I would have loved to, I said, the fact that they didn't bring up Mason and Alex in the fact that they didn't bring up Mason and Alex in the Wayfair dungeon is a crime. And then I said, I want to see Alex squirm, and I want to see the rehearsed convo that the 2 of them prepared beforehand.
I think what people have uncovered about Alex in the last few weeks has been so disturbing that they were like, we'll let you sit on stage and you can sweat with that weird hair, and like, let's not even acknowledge you at all because it's too dark. Do you remember that Martin Short Saturday Night Live sketch where he's smoking the cigarette and he's like the general counsel or something for a company? I'm going to send it to you. And they keep asking him questions about his company that's bogus. And he's like, why are you asking me that?
No, I don't.
Is there a
remember
reason
this.
you're asking me that? And he's like in a big smoke cloud.
Yeah, he's like dying.
Like sweating.
Yeah.
That was Alex. Yeah.
Literally sweating blood, like being like,
exactly. Hamana. When Mason and Meg came out, I thought that they were going to tell us that they are deeply
They were
in
together.
love.
Yeah.
That was a little
Me
bit
too.
disappointing.
She looked great, by the way.
Yeah, she looked great. But
that's the only nice thing I'm going to say about her. But
her
she
vibe.
I think she's so pretty. Her hair looked incredible.
Mm-hmm.
The dress was perfect.
Great makeup. Great
like
makeup.
she was like perfectly dressed. She knew the assignment, as the kids say. I'm going to go kill myself now. But
yeah.
But she like understood the assignment. You know what I mean? She like came, like she was dressed perfectly for the reunion. I thought she looked incredible.
Yeah.
Here's the part where I'm going to yell at you even more. From here's the part where we're going to, and I need you to at least acknowledge that I'm right about some of this. We're gonna fight.
No, I will. You were right in the beginning of the show where you said Alex is maneuvering and he threw his friend under the bus, and you were absolutely right about that. Yes, that was the first flag, and you noticed it, and I didn't. I drove past it, and you saw the guy standing on the side of the road.
I cannot believe I'm making you do this right now on your own
but you were
podcast.
right. You're totally right, though.
But I just feel so bad, and I feel that 2 years in a row I've sniffed out the biggest fakes, and the ones that everyone hates. That's the villain. Mm-hmm. I'm like, they're actually the realest person on here because they're showing us that they're a horrible person.
But you know what? This is real life.
Instead of us waiting to find out like a year later in the reunion that they're like, here's them being a terrible person. We see it right in the pods with them.
But I think that this showcases just how scary people can be, because they can present in the beginning as a very loving, sweet, kind person. And he eventually revealed himself, but you called it from the beginning.
Yeah. And Mason too, by the way. We'll get there.
We'll
get there.
My one friend kept texting me and she's like, his lisp is more than I can bear right now.
Whose lisp?
Mason's. He has a lisp.
Oh, I didn't even notice it. His forearms. If you have a good forearm, like I can look past most things. Like I can look past like having no teeth. Like if you have really good forearms, and I think it's such an underdeveloped part of the male physique. People are like, I have to drive my car off the road now. I find it to be so attractive, and a camera operator or someone that like works with things that are weighted like that, like they always have good forearms because they have to like often use their forearm as a.
Roger that.
Because So,
cut to your
I'm about to destroy him.
Body Beach ad.
My Beach Body ad where I'm like, you want incredible forearms like me? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, where do we even begin, Kate?
What do you think was Meg's plan as she went in with Mason? Like, if they're best friends,
actually, perfect place. Perfect place for us to start.
Yeah.
I'm sure that you're going to agree that they shot their own little reveal in that apartment so that they could show that to the producers and be like, don't you want us to watch our wedding too? Like, right?
Yep.
Like they tried to get right back in, which I feel like we did do before. Did we not? One time it was like.
Maybe, yeah.
Oh, you know what it was? It was Irina and the singer with the owl poster. I hope you dance the animal Max.
Yes,
like him and that Irina girl were there. And then she was like, you're weird. You're a freak. I have to run away screaming, which was correct. And then he brought in that Bliss woman that we then saw. Remember they had the baby? Yeah. And then we were like, and we just kept bopping right in. Like we bopped along as if nothing had happened. And I was like, we were grateful.
We were fine with that.
And now they have a kid. So that's good for them, So
what is
what is the
baby's name again? It's like
Galileo.
With the stars. Galileo.
It's literally Galileo. I was joking and then I'm like, no, it really is Galileo.
Galileo.
Which again,
she's blissful.
Listen.
They're in a sweet little bubble.
Yeah. So, and we saw them in that little like check-in with all the different people.
Yeah,
and
it was super cute.
That was so cute. I'm happy for them. But we had to like get through him and Irina being mismatched in every single way in order to get to that. There. So I feel that they thought that it was going to be, oh, look, I made this mistake. And now they thought that cameras were going to come back up on them. I think
you're right.
And that was their shot. And when Meg tried to, I'll get there, but when she tried to be like, I'm the one that got screwed over in all of this. And it's like, yeah, but you could have dated him and you guys figured out that you were better as friends, quote unquote.
Yeah. And
so it's like, you actually didn't you got screwed out of more camera time. So just say that.
Yeah, I think so. Yep.
That's what I like. What did you get screwed out of being more on the show? You met him and you guys dated and then you decide, and we then see 2 episodes later in the show that you guys are dating. So what did you get screwed out of?
By the way,
more fame.
You know what I wonder too is like, why aren't they a romantic match? Like he alludes to it. Like she's one of my best friends, and blah, blah, there's just stuff
that's
we aren't
a
in
line
agreement.
that they fed into ChatGPT and it spit back out and said, this is what you should say at the reunion. That's
Okay, because I'm like, what does that mean? Like, I'm sexually not attracted to them.
I don't know.
What?
He said that he liked conspiracy theories, and then he went into her house and there was like tinfoil hats on every surface for you to wear while you watch TV together. And he was like, I got to get out of here.
Maybe
that.
Yeah.
She's like actively trying to contact aliens. Not that I'm not, but
so
she's actively trying to contact aliens too.
Who does she hate most on that set? Like, who is her number one biggest vendetta against?
Who?
Meg.
Madison.
Yeah.
Which is, I said, Meg is a guy's girl and a loser. She's mad because Mason didn't pick her and they didn't get to stay on the show, and is taking it out on Madison because she's the villain, because Madison is the villain of the season. And it's easier to be mad at the
villain.
And it's easier to not be mad at the guy she wants to be with. And then I wrote, tale as old as time. Madison could have come in and been like, oh, I'm this like loner, whatever. She was like, no, I like have been through all this shit.
Saying.
I do this, blah, blah. I have pierced nipples. Don't you want to fuck me? And they're all like, yes. And then she's like, yeah, that's how I walk through the world. Like, I feel that if I met her at a bar, I would know exactly what she was like and we would have a fun time, versus like meeting some of these other girls that were like, and then can you believe that this happened? Like, ugh. And I'd be like, oh, you're not this like Susie little homemaker or something, maybe. I don't know. All this to say, again, Meg has no allegiance to Madison, but she would rather be mad at Madison for being hot and like stealing away her man than like the guy that she wants to be with, because that's like not his fault. And like, she's the reason that this happened, not that this guy was like, you have pierced nipples, like, and like cumming his pants whenever she says that, and then is like dickmatized and then throws Meg to the wayside.
But she doesn't want to be with Mason. She doesn't want to be with any of those guys. So why is she still so mad? She's exactly, why is Meg so mad? She's like, I'm the one that got screwed out of everything here. I'm the one that she said, I am the one that should be mad here. That was her thing, her fight against Madison. And your point is, she's mad that she didn't get television
She's mad that she didn't get enough screen time, which I'm like, one, bye. And two, no, hold the person that you want to be in a relationship accountable to their own actions. And even Mason's defense of what he did to Meg is that Madison is the reason that this happened. And I'm like, you are your own person. Like, you are an adult man. Some other person saying something to you, and he's like, I felt pressured into like committing to you. How fucking dare you? I said, Team Madison forever. We hate women in this country, and I will forever die on the hill that Mason did the same thing to Meg that Madison did to him. And the story of Meg and Mason's date right after the I'm committed to you conversation is proof. When Madison said that, and she said, I said, like, you have another connection, I have another connection. Like, what are we doing here? And in that conversation, you said, I'm committed to you. And then you went on another date with Meg. And then she came back so excited that you had an amazing date and you didn't end anything with her.
Okay.
When Alex was there and then she pulled out the screenshots, the best shit ever. When she said, I have more, but it's all I could fit in my armpit. When she was like, here's photographic proof that because she knew that the three of them were coming locked and loaded for her. And she like wrecked them.
Yeah, because she's like, why are you friends with him? He hates you. And
I said, thank you for the screenshots. Yeah, thank you for the screenshots. Yeah. Someone should come to work. So at least someone came to work today.
You know what? That was the point in the show when I was like, I think the show is actually what happens when they have to go back to the Minneapolis bars and run into each other. Because I feel like 6 years from now, they're still going to be mad at each other about what happened on the show.
And again, like, what did Madison do that was so bad? Like, again, Meg and Mason then dated after in the pods and then decided they didn't want to be together. So what actually did she do that was so terrible?
Maybe it would have been better if Madison asked them, which I know she can't because of the confines of the show. Like, why didn't it work out between the two of you two?
There's a part where it's like, I can't believe I didn't even say this to you until right now. I can't say how I know this, but I know that.
What?
I know that when they like meet up at the ski bar, that's like weeks after they're back.
Oh.
And so it's like that. I think that should be happening like right when they get back.
Yeah.
Like, you know, when they meet in like Mexico normally, but now Honduras.
Yep.
Like, and they meet up and they do that thing. Then it should be like the first week that they're back, they're like all cast, quote unquote, like their all cast event should be them all meeting up at that ski bar. And then there should be more of those. But again, then we're in our catch-22
right.
of like, do we reward these people for not getting engaged and like being dramatic outside of it, which we shouldn't, because then no one will get engaged.
Yeah.
And then what?
I'm going to tell you why this was a difficult season, because unlike any other season, everybody on this show is 1 to 2 degrees of separation from each other. And it made it too complicated.
Yeah.
Like even the guy that hooked up with Lauren is in Dave's building, and they all go to the same 3 bars.
Yeah, like
they're all two. So there's all this stuff that's happening off camera that we can't even keep up with because stuff is happening every week.
And they've yet to like, because now like on like Housewives or like other shows that we watch, like we've like found ways to like incorporate the off-camera shit to like.
Yeah. And they haven't caught up to it.
Like we like know, we can like spin, like not spin, but like we can like, if a storyline happens, something that's not like filmed, we like can completely tell that story. And it's like so easy to do that now. Whereas like here, you are right. It's like.
Yeah, because on Housewives, like in between seasons, there's all these things that happen where we can keep up because of all the algorithm of like TikTok and Instagram and such. They haven't caught up to that speed. So there's too much that happens off camera. And so it becomes so difficult for them to encapsulate an entire year since this happened on a reunion.
Well, and especially when they give them 5 full minutes to talk. And then they're like, well, we must
So imagine a housewife doing the same.
Yeah. And they're like, you have 5 minutes to fight. And then we must get to the number 3 most like viral moment of Love is Blind ever.
Yeah, that was dumb too.
Which was like, what is this?
It was like a waste of time. Yeah, so they can't like really catch it. So I think that's a problem. But now they're going to Denver. My other friend said Denver is like Minneapolis, where everybody knows each other. So that's going to be a problem again.
Well, I heard it's good.
Really?
All I'm going to say is I heard that it's good.
Really? What's Denver like? I don't even know. What is Denver like?
But like, is this one bad? Like like I know everyone says it is, but like we watched every episode as soon as it came on television.
People keep, not a lot of people, but some people go, you kept saying that this was going to be great. I'm just waiting for it to happen. We have had nonstop stuff to pick apart.
We laugh, we've bubbled, we've fought with each other. I've argued with you every episode. We've had different, like, do you know what I mean?
Why was this boring? Like, this was not boring at all. There's so many.
No, I'm so into it.
Things to pull apart. Like, I don't know what people are talking about.
The reason that people don't like it is because it's like, they want it to be a different show. They want it to be Housewives where then we like go in on each other. Like we watch them like scream at each other and be like, you're a liar and here's why. And like, I have the proof, and like throw it down on a table, like at that ski bar. And then everyone's like, and then it's like, but like, that's not what the show is. Like this show is not that. Like, so it's like, this is just not like in the confines of what we're working with here.
Yeah.
What else do you want? A TikToker like randomly breaking in to be part of the part of the show.
You know what's going to happen with these cast members? I'm going to be so bummed to tell you this. We've lost them forever. Because like Sarah and Lauren are going to start dating somebody from like Perfect Match or like The Bachelor, because they're going to be like, we are influencers. This is our lives now.
When that's, I think, the other part of like it being in these, like at the beginning of this, it was so smart that they didn't do it in New York and LA. You know what I mean? And like, because it's like, what the fuck? But like now it's like, you have now been anointed as a celebrity in like this city that doesn't have celebrities in it that aren't like professional athletes, obviously. Right. But it's like there's like these cities that are like a mid-size or a smaller city that isn't like here. Like here's where all the celebs live, you know, and other than again athletes, you're now like the 7th most famous person in this city, and that's fame is hard.
Fame is hard. Yep. I did like the way that they had the Vikings guy give it to the Broncos guy. That was great. The player.
I didn't need that at all, but sure.
Well, I like sports, so I like
I know. It was just like kind of like, what? And they're like thanks for passing the ball. And I was like, okay. But it was like cute.
Yeah. Okay.
I did like when they went to the Vikings training camp. Like that was fun. For like guys that I'm sure like worshipped the Vikings. because they're like live in this, you know what I mean? Like a very big sports
But again,
city.
Dave should have been there. Dave should have been there.
They all should have been. So should Alex and Mason and all them be like, are you and Meg dating? Tell us. What is, and again, like, let's hear about let's hear Alex talk about how Madison, blah, 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 and this and that. Like, let's hear his side of the story because I want to hear it because I know that it's wrong. You know what I mean? Like they protected both of them a lot, whereas like she got wrung out to dry.
Yeah.
And it's like, she at least like showed me everything. She showed me all her cards, you know what I mean? And we got to see it. Whereas like meanwhile, Alex is like a pedophile. Can't even say it. Like, do you know what I mean? Like we're then hearing Alex is like making people dress up as like little kids. So
it's so
like, let's
dark.
just let that sink in for 1 second.
Yeah. It's so, well, every show you got to have people that you despise. And this one, we definitely had a lot. More men.
The men were really bad this season, like really bad.
Yeah.
Like we've had some very upstanding men. Cameron in the first season. We've had the guy that worked at Nike that we got to see them. They still looked great. They are so great. He was he was such a stand-up gentleman. We saw the guy, the Lemieux. I love them.
They were
so
sweet
cute
too. Yeah.
He was just like a simpleton that was just like, I have values and I'm you know, like I'm gonna be like,
and worshipped her.
Worshipped her so much. And she was like, remember I hated her at the beginning. I was like, she's so fucking annoying. But then like there are stand-up men in this world. Not one of them did I see on this season of Love is Blind.
No, Daniel.
What's his name? He was nice. Yeah. He was nice. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, sure. But they were like never the worst drama they had was when she was like, I think you're stalking me. And he was like, no. She was like, oopsie. And then she was like, oopsies, you know, and then that was.
Do you think he talks to those other dudes or like all the women come over their house and he's like, yeah, I don't know what to tell you.
It didn't seem that the men were actually friends at all.
Yeah.
But the girls seemingly, at least the core group of them,
tight.
seemed to be very tight, which I liked. Again, love is seen.
Again, love is seen. Pod girlfriends. Yeah. Well, we said a lot. We fought a lot. We argued a lot. We don't fight.
We do, but it's like we always have. Even if I got in like a real fight with you, it would be like I would still have respect for like we respect each other's opinions. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I don't think we fight. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
you can tell I'm a mother of 5 kids. I'm like, that's not a fight. Thank you.
What another? And now, like.
So you just complain you've been on the show so much, and now the hell are you going to come back for?
No, I don't know, but I'm just saying, like, and now these people will leave our minds forever. Like, is what I was going to say. Like, we're just never, you know, and then we might think of them.
By the way, I don't know if they're ready for that.
Oh, no.
They are not ready for that.
They're not ready.
Mm-mm.
And the fact, you know, what's so funny is that it's like Jimmy, like Ed and Eddie himself is like, going into their DMs being like, let me like be the like reality television whisperer. And it's like, you were on one reality show and you did a terrible job of it. Like you of anyone should not be giving anyone any kind of.
I liked how Vanessa was like, which person? Girl?
You know, it was amazing. And then whenever he was like, I'm not going to say anything. And then Sarah was like, it was Jimmy. Like,
I know. Sarah threw him on the bus. I love that.
So good. Yeah. So good.
All right. Well, tell everybody what you've got on the show this week.
Oh my, well, fixing famous people. We are fixing Elizabeth Berkley, showgirls herself with Jess Rothschild. We have Renee Rapp coming down the pipe. We're going to be doing a bunch of other really funny
Why Renee Rapp? Has she turned into a monster?
She just like didn't get she was in the Mean Girls movie and she was in Mean Girls on Broadway and she has a singing career. Like she performed it on SNL, but then she didn't kind of she hasn't had the rise to fame that some of these other people that were her peers at one point are now way ahead of her, I feel, you know?
That happens.
And she's a talented person. I loved her in the Mean Girls movie.
Yeah.
And so you know, what are you going to do? So we have to fix her.
You got to fix her. All right. Well, great. Where can people listen and follow you?
They can follow me at the Chris DeRosa and they can follow the show at Fixing Famous People.
Thank you, Chris. I want to thank my great guest, Chris, and remind you to make sure that you click subscribe. Please leave a 5-star review. I love reading the reviews. Thank you so much for leaving them. If you have not left one already, please do so. Also, check out my Facebook group, Reality Life with KKC. Everyone is absolutely hilarious and such great insight. Also, bonus episodes, patreon.com/KateCasey. My what to watch list is at katecasey.substack.com. And lastly, make sure you follow me on social media. I'm on Instagram at @KKCCA, TikTok, it's KKC, Twitter, Threads, Blue Sky at @KKC. Check back tomorrow for an all new episode.
What's up, guys? It's your girl Kiki, and my podcast is back with a new season. And let me tell you, it's so good. And I'm diving into the brains of entertainment's best and brightest, okay? Every episode, I bring on a friend and have a real conversation. And I don't mean just friends. I mean the likes of Amy Poehler, Kel Mitchell, Vivica Fox. The list goes on. And now I have my own YouTube channel. So follow, watch, and listen to Baby, This is Kiki Palmer on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts. Watch full episodes on YouTube, and you can listen to Baby, This is Kiki Palmer early and ad-free right now by joining Wondery. And where are my headphones? Because it's time to get into it. Holla at your girl.